Hey there, folks. The Scottsdale Travel Chick Sidekick here to present our ultimate guide to Porto, Portugal. In this video, we'll cover all the top things you'll want to see and do on a visit to Porto, along with details on how best to get around, the best times to visit, the top day trips nearby, tips on dining and nightlife, and more. With everything called out on maps, so you'll know exactly where things are at before you get there. You won't find a better overall guide on Porto, I guarantee it. Okay, let's go. First up, just a bit of background on Porto to get you started. Porto is Portugal's second largest city and the capital of its northern region. The city is built on hills overlooking the Douro River, and its historical center was awarded UNESCO World Heritage status in 1996. This area has been continuously inhabited since at least 700 BC, and it became a notable outpost town of the Roman Empire during the 2nd century BC. Today, the city center of Porto remains relatively small, with a population of around 300,000 people, while the larger metro area has more than 2 million. The core tourist center of Porto is built on a riverfront hillside, so it's hard on the feet but pleasant to the eye, with great views and many viewpoints. Across the river from Porto is technically another city called Gaia, but you'll consider this, together with Porto, from a tourist perspective as one, and they are connected by a short 5-minute walk across a beautiful bridge. Beyond Porto, within an hour's drive, are also some wonderful historic towns, great beaches, and a famous wine region. We'll talk about these as day trips later in the video. How to get there and how to get around. Porto's airport is a short 15 kilometers or about 9 miles north of the city center. You can reach the city center by either the E-Metro line, which runs every 15 minutes and will get you to the north edge of the old town in about 20 minutes and under €3. Alternatively, and probably the best if you have a lot of luggage, both taxis and rideshare options like Uber are readily available, and these will also get you in town in about 20 minutes, and the cost should be around 15 to 20 euros. If you're coming by train from somewhere else in Europe, the two main train stations are São Bento and Campania. As a tourist in Porto, there's really no need to rent a car. Most roads are small and windy, it's expensive to park, and the city's secrets are best revealed by walking or on small tours. There is a new metro train system here, but honestly, it's not very useful in the primary tourist areas. So you're going to have to walk here, no way around it. For the most adventurous, though, we'd actually recommend e-bikes as the best way to get around on your own, if you don't mind riding in traffic in some areas and with pedestrians in others. There are multiple places to rent e-bikes, and the cost is about €35 a day. The best times to visit. Porto has a semi-Mediterranean climate, meaning it's strongly affected by the Atlantic Ocean, making it somewhat cooler than other cities. However, the temperature still can rise close to 40 Celsius or almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the worst of the summer. Winters tend to be mild and humid, with occasional cold nights where temperatures can drop down to 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Porto's annual precipitation is high, but concentrated mostly in the winter months. So if you're coming in the typical tourist months, you're probably okay. Finally, from an actual tourist busyness perspective, the best times to come are the shoulder seasons, May to June and September into October. The top things to see and do. Now, let's get right into the top things to see and do in and around Porto. I'll group all the sites into 3 main areas, which can all be covered on foot. The Ribeira or Riverfront District, the Baixia Center of Town area, and the Gaia District just across the river. The Ribeira or Riverfront District, as the name states, is the first few blocks along the waterfront. There's lots to see and do here along the narrow, cobbled streets dotted with many small bars and eateries. This part of the city is the best place to begin your visit to Porto, and it's also Porto's World Heritage Area. The Riverfront Promenade and Ribeira Square are the primary attractions here. Lots of activity and people in this area, and it's lined with many colorful 18th century townhomes. And this is Ribeira Square right on the waterfront on the Porto side. Just lots of people sitting out and eating. In this area, you'll also find Casa do Infante. This is said to be the house where the famous Prince Henry the Navigator was born in 1394. Today it serves as a museum and an archive for the city's history. Along the waterfront is also the impressive Dom Luís Bridge. It's a double-decker metal arch bridge spanning the river between Porto and Gaia. When it was built in 1886, it was the longest of its type in the world at the time. The top level is used for metro trains, but also tons of pedestrians, while the lower level carries local car traffic and again, more pedestrians. And the views from this bridge are some of the best of anywhere in Porto. A few blocks up from the riverfront is the Stock Exchange Palace, or Palacio de Bolsa. This is a historical building from 1842, and it's known for its ornate interiors, the most impressive being its Arab room. Next door to this is another important site, the Church of St. Francis, or São Francisco. Built in the 14th century, this Gothic church is another UNESCO World Heritage Site. And unlike some of its drab exterior, the interior is lavishly designed in a Baroque style. The church took almost 50 years to build, and almost every inch inside is covered in gold or ornately decorated. There's also a convent here, catacombs, and a small museum of artifacts. Just below this church is Tram Square and the start of the Heritage Tram Line. This is a tourist tram line running along the north bank of the river, all the way to the oceanfront. And the tram dates back to 1872 and was electrified in 1895, making this tram line one of the oldest in all of Europe. The trams run every 20 minutes, and a round trip costs €8. From here, a 10-minute walk up the hill brings you to the impressive Porto Cathedral, or Sé do Porto. This Roman Catholic cathedral is a national monument and the most important religious building in Porto. It still holds Mass every day at 11 a.m., and you can attend for free. The construction of this cathedral began all the way back in the 12th century, but was completed more than 500 years later in 1737. If you prefer not to walk to this cathedral, you have 2 other fun ways to get yourself up the hill. One is the Ribeira lift directly in Old Town. It's not that great for getting you somewhere useful, but it is a panoramic ride in its own right. A slightly more useful way to get you up the hill is the Gundieras funicular. It's another unique ride with a great view back out over the river, and it does get you to the top of that bridge, the Dom Luis Bridge, and also close to the Porto Cathedral. Our next area up is the Baixia district, or Porto's downtown. We'll start this section at Liberdade Square in Porto's City Hall. The square is a primary meeting place for Porto locals, and at its north end is Porto's impressive City Hall, a neoclassical 1900s building featuring a black marble entrance hall and a 70-meter-high clock tower with city views. A short 5-minute walk east from here will bring you to the Bulhão Market. This is a traditional yet also touristy market for fruits, vegetables, fish, and meat. It's also one of Porto's most emblematic places, which also houses many small restaurants with local dishes you can try at a low price. The next street over from here is Porto's most famous pedestrian shopping street, Santa Catarina. Take a stroll up and down the street and check out the many shops here, along with the mass of people out and about. Pro tip, near the bottom of this street is the famous Majestic Cafe. Established in 1921, they say this cafe is one of the most beautiful in all of Europe. But what I say is it's pretty expensive and crowded compared to many other cafes nearby. But it might be for you. Next up is the Church of Saint Ilfonso. There are many more famous churches in Porto, but we really like this one for its many exterior blue tiles and the nice local square out front. A 5-minute walk moving west from here is Porto's primary train station, São Bento. It's worth a stop to explore the famous blue tiles depicting scenes of the country's history and rural life. And then this is the station with all the blue tiles. It's also one of the main train stations. And the Time Out Market is also next door with its many restaurants. Just note that this Time Out Market is much smaller and less cool than the Time Out Market in Lisbon. If you want to know more about that, check out our Lisbon guide. Cleric's Church and Tower is up next. It's another of Porto's famous landmarks, and the view from the top of the tower is definitely worth the 240-step effort. It's particularly beautiful at night, and the tower is open till 11 p.m. Back side of the church is the tower. Climb all the way to the top of that. Some great views. Moving up the nearby pedestrian streets is the famous Lello bookstore. This historic bookstore has an amazing interior and a spiral staircase, which was voted one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world, and they say it was also an inspiration for the Harry Potter movies, so you can expect large crowds here. It used to be free, but now just to enter you have to pay €5, but it is credited towards a book if you buy one. This is the famous bookstore, but look at the line. Now they charge you money just to go in. The line is all the way down there, and you get a credit to buy a book, but otherwise, because it's kind of made famous from the J.K. Rowling books and said to be based on this bookstore. And pro tip, in the streets behind here is Porto's most popular nightlife area called Galerias de Paris. Finally, Carmo Church and the adjacent park round out our sights for this district. This church is a combination of two buildings. one built in the 1600s and the other one in the 1700s. And this is another church famous for its tiled exterior. Our final walking area is the Gaia district just across the river from the Porto waterfront. But before I get there, just a quick shout out that if you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up, a comment too, or better yet, forward this to all of your friends. And please consider subscribing to our channel to receive more fun, informative travel videos just like this one. And if you like this content, also consider purchasing our electronic travel guide for Porto. It covers everything we mention here, and you can take it with you on your phone, use the internet links, and even print out a copy and take it with you. Check our website link below the video to learn more. The Gaia district is an easy walk across the famous Dom Bridge, and this area is famous for its many port wine cellars. But there's more to see and do here than just that. We start by walking across that bridge and exploring Gaia's riverfront promenade. You'll have great views back out over towards Porto, as well as you can explore the many food and knick-knack vendors all along this promenade. Also along this promenade are many outdoor restaurants, as well as multiple port wine companies offering tasting and tours. This is a must-do in Porto, of course, as this is the port wine capital of the world. And then along the river, they have all these various flags of all the port wine warehouses on this side of the river. Also on this side of the river is where most of the river tours depart. The Six Bridges River Tour is probably the most popular, but you should take at least one of the river tours during your visit to Porto. The shortest ones take about 50 minutes, while you can also choose much longer cruises all the way up to full days. They have all these little cruise ships where you catch the cruises up and down the Douro, but they're right here on the Gaia side. Once you've had your fill of everything the promenade has to offer, take a one-way ride up the cable car. The terminus for this cable car is the Moro Garden up on the hill. You'll find tons of people just relaxing and taking in the views here, so try it yourself. Our pro tip is it's best at sunset. We're at a park on the Gaia side of things, and this is at the end of the bridge, but the good thing about it is you've got this great view back out over Porto. And then the bridge is over there where the Scottsdale Travel Chick is walking. Just above this park is another short walk to the monastery of Serra do Pilar and its viewpoint. The monastery is from the 1500s, and it was also used as a fortress at one time. Finally, to finish off this section, you'll definitely want to walk back to the Porto side of the river across the top deck of that Dom Bridge. Again, awesome views and a cool experience here too, walking with all the people as well as the trams going back and forth. That covers all of Porto's main tourist sites. And now I want to give you 3 top suggestions for day trips nearby Porto. One option you can easily do on your own is a visit to Porto's beach communities. They run both north and south from the mouth of the river, and you can easily reach these by bicycle, short taxi ride, or the metro system. The best beaches are to the south, and we rented e-bikes and rode to many of them on a half-day trip. Lots of beachfront restaurants and secluded beaches, many with beach cabanas and services. Not many people actually do this, but we highly recommend it. Espinho, a 20-minute train ride or a 1-hour bike ride south, is an especially renowned beach destination in Portugal. One tour that is done by most Porto visitors is a day tour to the wine region east of the city. These tours typically stop at a couple of wineries and do some tastings along with a lunch, and also include a short scenic boat ride on the river. Check out our 2 recommended tour providers in the link below this video. Our 3rd recommendation is a day trip to one of the historical towns north of Porto. There are many to choose from, but the combination trip to Braga and Guimarães are the most popular. Here you'll experience ancient Roman history, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, beautifully preserved town centers, castles, and Portugal royal history. Again, check our links below this video for our recommended tour provider. Dining and nightlife. Finally, now just a little bit on dining and nightlife in Porto. Porto has some of the finest restaurants in all of Portugal, so expect hearty meals heavy on seafood options. Tripe, codfish, and sardines are Porto's fish specialties, but the most unique local dish is probably the francesinha. It's a gluttonous sandwich of pork, beef, ham, etc., slathered in cheese and spicy sauce, sometimes with French fries mixed in. Supposedly, it's considered one of the 10 best sandwiches in the world, so of course I made the travel chick try one. All right, babe, what do you have there?
This is called francesinha. This is very local, and this is a specialty from Portugal, and it has layers of sausage. So we're gonna try it out. It's like gravy, ham. I don't know.
Also, like Lisbon, you can experience an authentic meal along with Portugal's famous fado music. There are multiple locations around town, and if you're interested, best to ask your hotel to book you one. For nightlife, there are many smaller bars scattered around the 2 touristy areas on both sides of the waterfront. But there is really only one centralized nightlife area in the downtown Porto area. I mentioned it earlier, and it's called Galerias de Paris. Here you'll find 2 streets full of bars and a few clubs. Overall, keep in mind Porto is not Amsterdam or Berlin, but if you look hard enough, you will certainly find something to keep you out late at night. And with that, my friends, we come to the end of our ultimate visitor guide to Porto, Portugal. We hope you enjoyed. Did we miss any of your favorites, or do you have a secret tip you'd like to share with others? Please let us know in the comments section below, and please consider subscribing to our channel for more fun, informative travel videos just like this one.